What does $1 million actually buy you in the Philadelphia suburbs in 2026? Depending on where you look, $1 million can either get you a huge newer construction home in the Philly suburbs, a luxury property with lots of land, or a walkable suburban lifestyle, or even a highly updated home in a top ranked school district that's closer to the main line or even in the main line. And honestly, a lot of buyers relocating from cities like Philadelphia, New York City, Washington, or even California are surprised at how different each suburb feels around this price point. Some suburbs prioritize schools, commute access, and walkability, while others give buyers more land, larger homes, privacy, and newer construction. So in this video, I'm going to be showing you real active listings around the Philadelphia suburbs and break down what buyers are actually getting around the $1 million price point, what areas offer the best value, how school district impacts pricing, and what kind of land and square footage buyers can expect, and how much income you realistically need to afford a home like this in 2026, and why so many buyers continue moving to the Philadelphia suburbs. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Peter Stefanatos. I'm a real estate agent at Compass. I'm actually recording within the Philly suburbs, within the main line here in Wayne. I work with buyers and sellers throughout the Philadelphia main line and surrounding suburbs. I'll actually have some of my recent sales where I recently sold homes in Media, Villanova, Gladwin, where I either represented buyers or sellers. Honestly, a lot of buyers right now are asking these exact questions. Where does my money stretch furthest while still getting a great location and schools, if that is something you're looking for, as many families looking to move to the suburbs are looking for great schools or looking to raise a family. So let's look at some real examples right now with one of my favorite towns where I recently sold a property on the private market for my sellers in Media. So let's get started with this beautiful Media property. This first property in Media is listed exactly $1 under $1 million. So pretty much $1 million home here. This home has 5 bedrooms, 4 bathrooms, over 3,600 square feet, and nearly half an acre, multiple parking spaces as well. And honestly, this is a type of property that many buyers picture when they're thinking about moving to the Philadelphia suburbs, okay? You're getting solid square footage, decent land, suburban privacy, and a really strong school district of Wallingford. Media continues staying extremely desirable because buyers love the downtown area, the restaurants, community feel, and relatively easy access to Philadelphia and getting to Center City if you actually have to. Let's take a deeper dive into this beautiful property here. This property was actually first listed on the private market and just now hit the public market. It's actually coming soon to the public market. So we can actually flip through some of the pictures here. 1975, the year the home was built. Taxes are a little on the high side for the square footage and area, in my opinion, at $25,000 annually. Nice little gates there. It does have a pool. Looks like it has a 2-car garage. Seems to be a stucco build. Interior is hardwood floors. Looks like they were recently refinished, as they are original to the property being built in 1975. So definitely restained, refinished hardwood floors. Definitely a nice interior. Nice yard space as well. The kitchen is definitely dated, so that is something holding back the property a little bit. And in my opinion, I feel the property is a little pricey just because the kitchen is outdated, but it does have a pool. Yeah, the kitchen is definitely on the more dated side. Nice built-ins that are also, one would consider, a little bit dated, but the rest of the home seems to be very nice and recently renovated. And they did a really nice job, actually. It's definitely a strong property. First one that we've been looking at so far. 3,600 square feet. Yeah, definitely not bad. As we go through, you're gonna get an idea of what $1 million is gonna get you on the main line here. Definitely a good first one to start us off here. Let's get into the next one. An example in New Hope, Pennsylvania. Now, this New Hope property is honestly really interesting because this is where buyers start prioritizing lifestyle and charm. This home has 4 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms, and is over 3,800 square feet. So we're getting into some pretty large houses now, and sits in one of the most desirable Bucks County locations. New Hope has become extremely popular because buyers love the scenery, the historic charm, restaurants, and overall walkability and atmosphere of this area. And honestly, Bucks County overall has become one of the strongest suburban luxury markets around Philadelphia. So let's take a little bit of a deeper dive into this property here in New Hope. This property, the taxes are $8,000, so much cheaper, but you do have the HOA, right? Which is gonna take care of your lawn. They're gonna make sure snow is out of the street for you. And sometimes they also include trash. So this home does seem seem to be a newer build than the other one. Yep, 1998, so almost 2000. We can go through some of the pictures here, and oh, they don't have too many up. Okay, so they are unfortunately hiding a bit of the interior of the home, but we can go based off the square footage and bedrooms at least, right? It has 4 beds, 3 baths, and is just under $1 million, and is just 200 square foot bigger. I shouldn't say just, that's like another entire room than the previous home we saw. So we're starting to see a little pattern here. Mid 3000s in square footage, right? 4 beds for just under $1 million on some decent amount of land, half an acre, and plenty of parking here. So definitely another interesting one. Let's look into our next property we have here in Conshohocken. I've actually hosted many open houses here and have shown this to quite a few buyers. This is a beautiful house and honestly a really great value, especially this Conshohocken property. It's a pretty fascinating because this is where buyers end up prioritizing commute access and proximity to Philadelphia with still retaining a lot of interior space, because this property is nearly 5,000 square feet. It is 5 bedrooms, 4 bathrooms, and it's a luxury feel interior space. But notice something important here. The lot size is much smaller. This is not a property where you're gonna have land. I'm not sure if you guys saw one of my other videos where we did a similar style video like this, but on the main line. Around the $1 million price point, you're definitely gonna get more than the main line, as it's a much more competitive market, but you are still going to have to make some compromises. And at this $1 million price point, you're getting a lot of house, but no land and a little bit of a dated interior. So you're kind of missing out on the land, but you're getting a lot of house for the price point. Getting almost 5,000 square feet under $1 million is extremely rare. So I'm just trying to lay out these trade-offs that you're gonna have to make within the Philadelphia suburbs. If you're definitely looking for something this big, around 5,000 square feet, and you're under $1 million, this is definitely gonna be the area you're gonna be looking at, where you're not gonna get land, or you're not gonna get walkability, or it's gonna be very dated. There's gonna be a trade-off. You just have to know what that trade-off is and be okay with it. And Conshohocken overall, as its own town, continues to stay extremely competitive just because of how convenient it is for people that are working in Center City, King of Prussia, and the surrounding corporate areas. So no, it is not a mainline town, but it is extremely competitive because of its proximity to a lot of corporate hubs. So let's take a closer look at the property. Like we said, 5 beds, 4 baths, almost 5,000 square feet with a very nice layout, a very thoughtful layout. So like I said, I've actually hosted many opens here, and the layout is honestly stunning. The builders did a very nice job with this one. It is definitely not your everyday house. Ceiling heights are also 9 and 10 feet, so very high ceiling heights for a home that is, you know, built before the year 2000. It's a little more rare to get those ceiling heights. Kitchen is dated, like we were saying, but everything is still functional. We move on to the living room right outside the kitchen, where you consider that a great room as well. You have a nice deck there as well that walks right outside of the great room. And then we're looking at the primary bedroom, nice vaulted ceiling, nice seating area to the side of the primary. Then we're getting into the bath, which is also a bit dated, but still in nice condition. And then we're getting into this was just the basement, with one of the bedrooms are in the basement, and then 4 are on the second floor. And we're just kind of going through here. Then we get into the office, and the deck I was talking to you guys about, that is a walkout right from the great room that connects to the kitchen, and that's the property. So the taxes here are $12,600, and the HOA fees are $350 monthly, and that's gonna take care of all grass. Also, many times it takes care of the trash cans and snow plowing for the entire street there. And I actually remember sitting this open as you are close to 76, but you're nestled so far back, you actually don't hear it at all. So it does a really good job of all of these trees insulating that highway noise, because a lot of people get worried about living in Conshohocken because you are near some pretty major roadways. But this location, you are very nestled back. You don't actually hear it, which is fantastic. And let's move on to the next example, that is in Malvern, one of my favorite areas, where I've also sold a couple properties. So let's talk about how Malvern is another great example of a lot of suburban value. Let's look at this home here. It has 4,000 square feet, just nearly 4,000 square feet, 3 bedrooms, 4 bathrooms, and sits on about 1/4 of an acre. And honestly, one of the biggest reasons Malvern remains expensive is the schools here. A huge percentage of suburban buyers around Philadelphia prioritize school districts above almost everything else. Buyers will often stretch their budgets dramatically for stronger schools, safer neighborhoods, and long-term resale value. And that kind of gets us more into the mainline markets. But Malvern is like one of the closest to the main line, where it appreciates pretty similarly, and many people within the main line also kind of tie in Malvern, as the school districts are also great and the area is also fantastic. Malvern, you can just get lots of more land for your money while still retaining great schools. You're farther out from Center City and Philly, as it's the opposite direction, right? A commute would be closer to 45 minutes, where if you're in the main line or even Conshohocken, that could be 20 minutes. Looking through here though, we have taxes at almost $10,000 a year, which is a good price for Malvern. We also have the co-op fees here is $1,100 semi-annually, and the year bill is $2,001. So moving through, we have a 2-car garage there. Looks like a siding and then brick face. The great room has ceiling height that goes all the way to the top of the property, likely like 25-30 feet, which is really nice. Honestly, quite rare at a property that is under $1 million, and the square foot is almost 4,000. So definitely some nice space here. We're going through some of these pictures. Kitchen looks nice, definitely more updated than the last one we saw. That is definitely livable, and you could tell was custom done when it was done. It was likely done probably in 2016, if I were to guess, 2015. Maybe 2018, the latest. Moving through here though, it looks like we have a walkout basement, which is really nice here. Lots of space down here in the basement. Okay, full bath down there. Laundry room. The primary has a little vaulted ceiling there, which is definitely nice. Double vanity. Your shower and bathtub there with your little toilet room. Ceiling heights on the second floor look to be 8 feet. And outside you have a nice deck. Looks like it's Trex, so you're not going to be getting any wood rot or anything like that. Actually, take that back. I think it is actually wood. Okay, never mind. I think that other picture might have been virtually done, so it made the planks look a little more uniform. Not too sure. But you do have a really private lot here. It looks like you have trees surrounding you, so you're not going to be just like staring at your neighbors like some other neighborhoods are. And it looks like you have not only a deck, but also a porch under that, bit of an overhang there, which is nice. So definitely a nice house. Brick face houses I absolutely love, with siding around the sides. It's good that it's not stucco, as many homes like this tend to be stucco. Also, the ceiling height in the great room is fantastic. It going all the way up, likely 30 feet, 20 feet ceiling heights there, which is definitely a plus. Definitely a nice house. Malvern is one of my favorite areas. A lot of people I help downsize from the main line to Malvern, just because property taxes are cheaper. You get more house, more land for your money. And once the kids move out, you don't really need the schools, even though the schools there are also great. Moving into the next property we have here, which is going to take us to Phoenixville. Now, Phoenixville has exploded in popularity over the last several years, and this property is a great example why. You're getting over 3,600 square feet, 4 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms, and over 2.7 acres of land. Now, that is rare in the Philadelphia suburbs for under $1 million. Now, this is where buyers really start feeling like their money stretches very far, because once you move slightly further from Philadelphia, buyers can suddenly access much larger lots, more privacy, and significantly more outdoor space. And honestly, Phoenixville has become one of the hottest suburban markets because it offers a strong downtown, restaurants and nightlife, very walkable, and still relatively strong value with great appreciation. So let's take a little bit of a deeper dive into this property in Phoenixville. Definitely exciting, almost 3 acres. So you're gonna be cutting the lawn for a while, but it's going to be worth it. So we have a 1988 build here, 3,600 square feet, like we said, and $11,000 a year in taxes. Let's go through some of the pictures here. Beautiful lawn, nice flat ground that also is pretty private because you do have a nice line of trees, so you won't be seeing the yellow line road there. It does look like they have raised beds as well to shield them from the street, which is really nice. Beautiful front entryway. Very beautiful front yard view of the street from the house. That's gorgeous. That's a picture of the front of the house. Very nice. You see the driveway wraps around the back too. That's really nice. Looks like a full siding wraparound. You do have a brick patio as well. 2-car garage that is detached. That's really cool. What else do we have here? Hardwood floors. Looks like pretty tall ceiling heights as well in here. Looks like they're vaulted up to probably close to 11 feet in here, maybe 12. Kitchen looks nice, well kept, definitely clean. Was probably done 2015 if I were to guess. Kitchen looks out to the backyard, which is expansive and looks great. Beautiful sunroom. You have a nice washer room that looks like this was recently done. This was definitely recently done. Looks gorgeous. Then we're getting into the bathroom, the dining room, which also looks nice. This is definitely a lot of value here. You're getting a nice 4-bedroom house. It looks like the primary bathroom as well was recently renovated and looks very nice. Nice sized bedrooms. Definitely a nice sized bathroom for that bedroom. And yeah, wow, very nice. And then we're getting into the basement. Has like a mini bar there. Definitely a little dated, but it's finished space, which is definitely a plus. And then you have a storage section of the basement as well. Little floor plan there. Wow, very nice. This is a very impressive property. Almost 3 acres in Phoenixville. Very private lot. That is exciting. Very, very nice. Wow, beautiful house actually. Honestly, I'm probably gonna put that as #1 on our list for under $1 million so far in the Philly suburbs. Pretty sure we have 2 more to go through, at least 1 more to go through, but very, very nice house. I'm thoroughly impressed with this one in Phoenixville. Now, we're gonna get into Downingtown. I was actually recently at a showing in Downingtown. Now, this Downingtown property is another strong example of family-focused suburban demand, okay? This home has over 3,200 square feet. It's a 3-bedroom, 3-bathroom, and a newer style suburban construction. And again, schools play a massive role here. A lot of buyers specifically target areas throughout Chester County because of their highly ranked public schools. So let's take a look at this one here. Okay, so on our list here, we have our first newer construction build with a build year of 2023. So I would still consider this pretty much like new construction. Yeah, it's 3 years old, but this is pretty much a new house, right? The taxes are gonna be $11,000 a year, and your HOA fees are gonna be $250 a month, which is gonna cover ground care, you know, cutting the lawn around your property, common areas, snow plowing the street, and sometimes it covers trash cans. I'm unsure if it does actually with this HOA. We have a 3-bed, 3-bath, and we have a lot of pictures to get through here. So nice modern white style here. We have a front porch, which is very rare. 10-foot ceilings we have throughout the first floor, which is very, very nice. And I'm just gonna be skipping along through here. Very nice kitchen countertop here. Looks like it is granite, but I do like the modern tone of it. Very clean and well kept, very nice. And okay, very nice little eat-in here. Great room is very high ceilings up here above, which is very nice. Okay, extends off the kitchen. Lots of natural light's gonna come in this property. You can see from the huge windows in the great room. That's honestly beautiful. Okay, great bed. Here we get into the first bedroom and the beautiful bathroom. Very nice. Definitely fits the theme of the house, the white and black. Very nice. Oh wow, so upstairs has its own like little entertaining area. That's pretty different of a layout. I kind of like it. Okay. Then you have your bathroom upstairs. And then here's the front porch that we were looking at. So you can tell this is more of a development feel where there's a lot of newer construction, more cookie cutter, all laid out around each other within a neighborhood. So definitely complete opposite to what we were looking at with the Phoenixville property, right? Is this one in Downingtown. So also Downingtown, a lot of HOA communities like this also have like central hubs that we're looking at right now, where there is a large pool, you know, that's a community pool, also has a community tennis courts. Looks like also a pickleball court and just a clubhouse where, you know, you can entertain and stuff, which is definitely fun. And a lot of these newer communities do have amenities like that. You could just see the pictures here. Looks like they also have nice walking trails as well. It's very nice. Definitely very common though with these newer construction little towns that they've been building in different areas around the Philadelphia suburbs. So definitely a beautiful house for under $1 million. You're definitely getting a lot for your money, especially with that town center there. Let's move on to the next property in Westchester. Now, Westchester continues to be one of the most competitive suburban markets around Philadelphia. This property we're gonna be looking at today gives buyers over 3,600 square feet, 4 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms, and nearly 0.7 acres. And honestly, Westchester has become one of the strongest all-around suburban markets because it combines strong schools, walkability, the downtown lifestyle that's fantastic, restaurants, larger suburban housing stock than other areas. A lot of buyers moving from cities specifically target Westchester just because there's more space, you have a nice suburban lifestyle there, and a very active downtown environment. Downtown Westchester is fantastic. So let's take a deeper dive into this property. I recently actually sold a home in Westchester within the Greystone community, which was very, very nice. So Westchester has a special place in my heart. Plus a lot of my family lives in Westchester. I'm frequently out that way. So let's look at this property. It's like we said, 4-bed, 3-bath, 3,600 square feet. Taxes are on the low side here, $7,000 annually. And let's go through. So a beautiful circle driveway, which is very rare for a property that's not even on a full acre. 3-car garage. That's also very rare. As we're moving inside, we're getting a little bit of a dated feel. Okay, I'm going to be as honest as possible with my breaking down here. So this does seem to be a bit of a dated home that would need some updates, and that's likely why the price is under $1 million, because even that circle driveway, 3-car garage, it's pretty rare to get those features under $1 million. Does look like the appliances are decently new though. It looks like the stove, double oven is new, and the dishwasher. So amenities are newer, but the kitchen is definitely on the older side. And then we're getting into the family room, which is nice. Looks like they took down a couple walls. You can see that they have a support beam up there, which is nice. They opened up the flow of the house a little bit better. Okay, laundry room, powder room looks nice. We're getting into the bedrooms. Yeah, a little bit dated. We do have carpets here. This bathroom does look to be like it was recently done though, which is very nice. Same with that one, very nice. Next bedroom needs some work as far as the carpeting goes. Just the overall dated feel with the trim and stuff, you know. So same with this bedroom as well. And then we have an office, as they're using the 4th bedroom as an office. Then a fully finished basement, which is definitely fantastic. They just use it as a little bit of a media center down there, a little bit of exercise. And then you do have a stone patio in the back as well with a pergola above it. Wow, nice flagstone patio. Very nice. Yeah, the grounds are beautiful here as well with the stone walls, large driveway, very nice. Yeah, it's a beautiful house. Build year was 1979. It looks like it's a stone face siding exterior around the back. Definitely a nice cul-de-sac here. It's not a cul-de-sac, but nice little development of homes here. Oh, it's near Ridley Springs Farm, no way. Definitely a nice spot here, 3,600 square feet. Yeah, this is another solid property. This home's been on the market for 4 days, so definitely brand new to the market. Definitely another fantastic lot. So I'm hoping that you've been able to get a pretty good idea of what you can get in the Philadelphia suburbs for around that $1 million price point. Now let's just broadly cover what under $1 million is generally just gonna get you in the Philadelphia suburbs, as we just went through a bunch of examples. So let's just break it down. So based on the properties that we did just look at, $1 million is gonna get you a good amount. Honestly, buyers are typically getting somewhere between 3 to 5 bedrooms, 3 to 4 bathrooms, roughly 3,200 to even up to 5,000 square feet, and anywhere from smaller suburban lots all the way up to multiple acres depending on your exact location. Honestly, this is why so many buyers continue moving into the suburban areas around Philadelphia, because compared to major metro areas across the country, buyers can still get significant square footage, land, privacy, and highly ranked schools around the $1 million budget. It's still possible. But again, everything comes down to trade-offs. Some buyers prioritize schools, commute access, and walkability, while others prioritize land, privacy, newer construction, and maximizing interior space. It all comes down to your needs. And at $1 million price point, you're gonna have to give a little to get a lot, in the sense of the trade-offs as we were talking about. And different suburbs fit completely different lifestyles. So if you need help figuring out exactly the town for you, feel free to reach out to us. We are absolute experts in the area. We've done over 400 transactions within the Philadelphia suburbs. But getting Getting into our next section here, why Philadelphia suburb pricing remains so strong. So why are suburban prices around the Philadelphia suburbs still so high in 2026? A few major reasons are strong school districts, remote and hybrid work, buyers leaving cities for more space, and limited inventory. The overall quality of life is bringing more people from the cities to these suburban towns, okay? A lot of buyers today are prioritizing larger homes, home offices, land, lower density, and suburban lifestyles. And many Philadelphia suburbs continue seeing extremely strong demand just because of that. Now, how much income do you need to afford a $1 million house within the Philadelphia suburbs, accounting for taxes, home insurance, etc.? So now one of the biggest questions buyers ask is, what income do you realistically need to afford a $1 million home in 2026 with rates being where they are today, around 6.5%? And honestly, it's usually more than people expect. Using a pretty standard scenario here, right? $1 million purchase price, 20% down payment means roughly $200,000 down and about an $800,000 loan balance. Now, to qualify for that $800,000 loan balance at current 2026 interest rates, your payment, including taxes, which is around $10,000 a year, so $800 a month, insurance, which is going to be around $200 a month, principal and interest could easily land you somewhere from $6,500 to $7,500 per month, exactly depending on the rate and taxes you do land at. And realistically speaking, buyers usually need around a $200,000 household income as a bare minimum to comfortably afford and qualify for a $1 million house with 20% down in the current environment, okay? And honestly, many buyers purchasing homes at this level are earning significantly more than that as a household. And especially once you factor in taxes, student loans, childcare, maintenance, and other monthly expenses, the $200,000 at these rates is definitely on the lower side. I mean, you can obviously stretch it to like 175. Some lenders will be able to approve you for it. Obviously depends your debt to income ratios. I'm just assuming you have no other debt, and at 200K you'd be able to qualify and the payments actually be manageable in this very strange environment that we are in. Another topic I did want to cover here is how a lot of these properties are listed on the private market. Something many buyers don't realize is that some of the best suburban homes never fully hit the public market at all, like Zillow, Redfin, Realtor.com. Instead, they end up being first listed on the private market. It's something that Compass has. Some other brokerages have it, but Compass has the largest private brokerage network, also called private exclusives. And it has become extremely important in the competitive nature of the suburban markets within Philly because inventory stays so low. What a lot of sellers are doing these days is instead of listing immediately their home on the public market like Zillow or the MLS, many sellers first test the private market at their aspirational price. This is what I recommend all of my sellers to do and what we have done. That home I was talking to you guys about in media, my sellers wanted 1.2 million. We ended up listing it on the private market, sold it in 3 days for over 1.3 million, 100K over their ask, and no sign in the yard, no open houses. And that happens to a lot of fantastic properties on the Philadelphia main line and the surrounding suburbs, just like it did for that recent property that we sold. So just wanted to let you guys know, because the private market's more of a new thing. It's been a thing for probably like 3 or 4 years. Every video I try to get the word out about, if you're looking to sell, you should be taking advantage of the private market. Test your aspirational price. Someone might pay it, and you won't be on Zillow, Realtor.com and stuff for privacy reasons, and there's no public days on market counter that's going to be devaluing your property. And honestly, some of the best opportunities I've personally seen for buyers come through the private market. So if you are in the market within the Philadelphia suburbs and you want access to not only the public market but the private market, just to ensure you're seeing everything, definitely reach out. I'll have my info on the screen and we can help connect you with private market access through one of our collections. So overall, what does $1 million get you in the Philadelphia suburbs in 2026? Honestly, a lot more than what many buyers will expect. A lot of people think, and for good reason, that home prices, which they are a bit ridiculous, but you can still get a lot for your money. And under $1 million, you can still get a beautiful house, lots of land, and you'll be able to get what you're looking for, whether that's entirely focusing on schools, commute times, lifestyle walkability, land, or just location to your loved ones. And if you're thinking about buying somewhere in the Philadelphia suburbs and want help understanding where your budget budget stretches furthest for your situation, what suburb fit your lifestyle, or how to access the private market opportunities, feel free to reach out. Like I said, I'll have our contact info down below. I'd be happy to help. And if you found this video helpful at all, make sure to leave a like, subscribe, follow for more Philadelphia suburb real estate videos, market updates, buyer strategies, seller tips, and local insights. All the properties I showed you guys today, I have on a collection that updates just showing suburban neighborhoods around the $1 million price point. You can also click the link down below if you would like your own collection that updates you both public market, private market, when properties you're looking for hit the market so that you are updated on your search. It's been Peter Stefanos with Compass. Take it easy, everybody. Peace.